Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. If you listened yesterday, you heard I was losing my voice, so I recorded this one right after that one so I could goof off yesterday and go see the eclipse. My voice isn't too bad, but I don't have it in me to like punch up and down on the vocals as much as usual, so I'm going to crib off the Melbourne Comedy Festival in the second half again. I did have the Late Bot write some jokes about Jim Gaffigan bourbon. Late Bot says, "Did you hear Jim Gaffigan's releasing his own bourbon? Finally, a whiskey for dads who think Olive Garden is too ethnic. Jim Gaffigan's new bourbon is perfect for people who find Pabst Blue Ribbon too edgy and dangerous. Gaffigan's bourbon is the only whiskey that comes with a side of mashed potatoes and gravy. The bourbon pairs nicely with a sensible bedtime and doctor-approved cholesterol level. Jim Gaffigan's bourbon for when you want to get wild and crazy, but still be in bed by 9:30. Bourbon aficionados are calling Gaffigan's whiskey the khaki pants of the liquor world. All that was by AI. Not bad, Late Bot. Jim Gaffigan said the new whiskey was created from scratch with no corporate or investor backing. I put up my own money and sampled hundreds of barrels because I wanted to create something that I enjoyed drinking that would be a beautiful addition to anyone's bar and would make a great Father's Day gift. I'm obviously not a bourbon expert, but I did my research and I know what I like. I handpicked the bourbon in each autographed bottle of Father Time. Oh, it just got even less cool. Hey, here's a Jim Gaffigan autographed bottle. I don't know, man. And no, there isn't some big spirit company behind this adventure. It's just me and a buddy from college. We got tons of help from smart bourbon people, and we're proud of what we created. We hope you enjoying drinking it as much as we do. I have a feeling this is going to go down like, remember George Lopez tacos, if you're a longtime listener? George was all about the tacos during the pandemic and then never heard about that again. Neal Brennan's special's out on Netflix today. It's called Neal Brennan Crazy Good. The Hollywood Reporter was curious where he filmed the special. Interesting answer, he said, at the Fonda Theater in Hollywood, but I've never really understood the big thing about audiences in general. My audiences are 95% the same wherever I go, even in like London or Thailand. The jokes either work or they don't. What Neal's hoping for with this one is that people who thought I was mopey or maudlin or self-pitying or maybe had written me off give me a chance. It's a hard thing to ask people. Like, no. We've reimagined who Neal Brennan is, but hopefully if you watch the first 11 or 12 minutes, you'll see, oh, he's just being reckless and funny. He's not being contemplative in any way. He commented on his executive producer, Bill Burr, and he said, Bill Burr and Al Madrigal have this company, All Things Comedy, that produced it. They're great and very pro-comedian, and it's not like there's a ton of graft in the comedy production world, but they know exactly what costs what. Bill's done 9 specials or something, so he knows exactly what everything should cost. Speaking of Bill Burr, he did one of those AMAs with Wired. I'll go rapid fire here. Bill, what's Bill Burr's best special? Burr said, that's like saying, which child do you like most? Sophie's Choice. I love Paper Tiger because I was in England, and I love the challenge of that. I also love Red Rocks. It wasn't even what I did. It was the crowd. What I loved was how it was mic'd. You could hear the crowd, and if you can get through my jokes on the special, just listen to the audience. Every once in a while, I'd say something really random and stupid, and people would laugh at the ridiculousness of it. But you always hear one guy just go like, yeah, it wasn't a joke, because it's like, yeah, I think that too. He talked about Breaking Bad and said, I did the car wash one first, then I did the one with Lavelle Crawford where the guy drops the oranges and bangs his head, and I got to be in Saul Goodman's office, which was crazy because I was such an insane fan of the show. I think 2-3 seasons in, and I remember going to Saul Goodman's office where the Constitution thing above his desk, and I felt like I got sucked into my TV. It was incredible. And then I did the train robbery, and I got to drive that big dump truck, and I remember the stunt guy was like nervous, going like, well, you don't know what you're doing. And I said, well, I'm only going half a mile an hour. I just let the clutch out and gave it gas. I was young. I didn't know what I was doing. He was asked, what's Bill Burr like in real life? He said, I'm an inquisitive person. I just try to stay ahead of my depression, and if I'm learning something new, it's exciting, it's challenging, it's embarrassing because I'm making mistakes, but I don't have to listen to the demons. It shuts them up. They start talking around 11:15, 11:16 every night. New topic. How did Bill Burr end up on The Mandalorian? Bill said, I ended up on it through Jon Favreau, who listened to my podcast. He used to hear me making fun of Star Wars and thought it was funny. I ended up meeting him at a mutual friend's birthday party. He goes, there's a part in there that we're writing right now. I think it'd be good for it. And I was like, John, I gotta be honest with you. I kind of make fun of Star Wars, not in a malicious way. It's just I see people really enjoying something, and I know it's an easy hit. If I make fun of it, I can watch them get upset. It fills up my day for whatever reason. And he goes, no. He goes, I know, I've heard it. I think it's hilarious, and I think your fans would find it funny if you were on the show. Bill says it's one of the favorite things he's ever done in his career, and I will say, Star Wars fans are cool as hell. Deadline reports Tom Segura is in talks for multiple roles in Dirty Rotten Bastard, a showbiz-centric indie film from Ed Helms and Mike Fabio's Pacific Electric Picture Company. The film tells the insane true story of an aspiring filmmaker who's kidnapped by deranged lounge singer Tony Clifton. Now, do you know who Tony Clifton is? I'll get to that in a second. Initially drawn to document Clifton's world, he's thrust into a chaotic journey of sex, celebrity, and comedy, blurring the lines between observer and participant and testing his sanity. Segura will play Andy Kaufman's larger-than-life comedic persona Clifton, as well as Andy Kaufman's friend and longtime collaborator Bob Zmuda. Now, if you're not hip to this joke, there was this loudmouth character, Tony Clifton, often played by Andy Kaufman, and the late-night talk shows would try and book Andy, and Andy would say, I'll only come on as Tony Clifton, and sometimes Tony Clifton would be Andy, and sometimes Bob Zmuda would dress up and perform the character, and Andy Kaufman would be home laughing at everyone, thinking it was Andy Kaufman doing a character. I've met Bob Zmuda, spent a lot of time with him back at Sirius. I've got some stories, but I don't have the voice to tell them properly today, so I'm going to leave a note to tell you these tomorrow or the day after. Deadline writes, Zmuda was known to switch off with Kaufman in portraying Clifton, a foul-mouthed singer out of Vegas. Famous for his abrasive personality and erratic behavior, Kaufman liked to inhabit him both on stage and off, sometimes appearing in character during interviews and public appearances. The mystique surrounding the character was amplified by the fact that over the course of Kaufman's life, many believed Clifton to be a real person, separate from Andy Kaufman. Great stuff. I'll tell you some stories tomorrow.
Gossip Corner.
And on Gossip Corner, the Daily Mail says Adam Sandler kept it casual in a North Face coat as he enjoyed a stroll with his daughters. Adam Sandler is spotted in London walking around, also spotted playing basketball with some locals. We're told Adam opted for a laid-back look with a light blue hoodie and a pair of red tracksuit bottoms. Let's see what's happening at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival so I can save my voice. Daniel Connell's show is called Little Aussie Battler. Let's listen.
Lovely to be here. It's lovely to be out and about. It's great to see international travellers returning from overseas and Aussies coming back. They haven't been able to come back for a while. I've been out at the airport last week. I went out there. I didn't have anybody to pick up. I just went out to watch. It was nice just watching people. Jumped on a few family huddles. They hated it, but I quite enjoyed it. It was just nice to feel something, you know, just anything. Had a moment absolutely ruined though. This guy's about mid-30s. He's come bolting through the terminal. I see his parents on the other side. They're like early 70s. He runs up to him. He's got all his luggage on. He gets to him. I'm almost about to jump on the huddle, and they pull their mask down, the mother and the son, and a big long kiss on the lips. Big That is disgusting. Can we cut that out? I'll let out like an audible
That was pretty good. How about this show? Ruby Esther does her bester. I like the title. Let's listen.
Hey, look, I'm just going to get right into it and preface my set by saying I'm aware, okay? I'm aware I come off quite anxious on stage, all right? Not to worry. It's mostly just the anxiety. No, but I think my anxiety started in intermediate school when I was moderately to severely bullied. That's a laugh line. It's okay, the bully died last year. Delta. Sorry, too soon. No, I did it. Do you guys like my hair? Thank you. Correct. I went to the hairdresser very recently with a very specific image in mind and in hand. I printed it out and I handed it to my hairdresser and she looked concerned and she was like, okay, just going to confer with you. You want me to give you waist length extensions and dye it all black. No, I said. You're not listening, Angelique. You see the way the girl in the picture is looking out the window. You see the way the rain is falling softly on the window pane. How she's unperturbed by the slight warping of her face in the water, or the hand resting on her shoulder, or even the party going on in the window's reflection behind her. You see how she doesn't quite fit in, but she doesn't not belong. You see how she doesn't know? She doesn't know where she's going to go next. Maybe she'll rejoin the party. Maybe she'll go to a different party, go to a club, go to a friend's house, or hell, maybe she's going to go home. Can you cut that? Is that... I think it's like layers. And she couldn't. 0 stars. So we bleached it. Thank you. I've been Ruby. You've been lovely. Have a good night.
I loved her. Her presence is fantastic. Now, maybe not the funniest joke, but what a great storyteller. I couldn't wait to hear how that one would finish. She had me totally captivated. Fantastic. All right, let's do one more. Tommy Little's show is called Tommy Little Has a Regular-Sized Deck. There's a picture of him playing cards. I don't know what you were thinking. Let's listen.
I had a busy year last year. I learned to fly planes. I became a pilot. Usually people clap at that, but that's fine. I'm obviously performing to a room full of fellow pilots. Nice. It's not as long as you think, right? When you're driving a car, you have to do 120 hours next to someone else before you're allowed to drive a car by yourself. Flying a plane, I did 9 hours. And I was allowed to fly a plane by myself. Why was that? It means you can catch a flight from here to Hong Kong, and if you learn on the way when it lands, you can go say to the captain, "Don't worry, champ, I'll take it back from here." Being a pilot is the best because there are no rules. Sorry, there are heaps of rules. There's just no one to check on them. You can't get pulled over in the sky. No one has ever checked my license. No one has ever breathalyzed me. No one has ever drug tested me. There's a key to the door that opens our hangars, and then the planes don't even have keys. If you can fly them, you can take them. The reason I'm telling you this is because if there's a story on the news 5 years from now, and I'm accused of smuggling drugs around this beautiful country, and I'm on the news going, "I didn't do it. There's no way I'd ever do this." I did it.
He's fantastic. I like him a lot. He is Tommy Little, and that is your comedy news for today because I have no voice. Tell a friend about the show. See you tomorrow.